Thank you for joining us. I'm Alexandra Meacham. We are following the biggest story in the world right now. 16 days after invading the country, Russian forces continue pushing further into Ukraine. In the latest development, Russian forces bomb a village in Ukraine, leaving extensive damage. Bereshivka is about 30 miles from Kyiv. A building that housed a restaurant and old cinema were severely damaged. Ukrainian military vehicles were spotted near the site of the blast in what appeared to be a Ukrainian military base. An evacuation effort got citizens out in time, so right now there are no reports of injuries or deaths. Tonight, we're examining another aspect of this war, and that's the Russian propaganda campaign that's been highly successful in misinforming the Russian public. We have a local expert on the matter right here in Shreveport. He addresses how freedom of speech and the press are far from reality in Russia. Russia's war against Ukraine includes bombing, artillery shelling, and information used as a weapon. The Kremlin controls the media, broadcasting fake videos and images to Russian people to make them believe Russia is under attack from Ukrainian Nazis.
There is no doubt that a significant degree of, or a significant part of the Russian population is misinformed. If you watch Russian media, if you watch Russian state channels, it's a completely different world that they live in.
While Americans may feel overwhelmed by the news coming out of Ukraine, he says imagine living in a virtual totalitarian country that shut down television channels, tightly controls the internet, making the public have little idea of the atrocities being committed right next door to them, while the rest of the world is watching it in real time.
The media that we access on an hourly basis is not as accessible in Russia. But in a system where there's only state that controls the information flow, it's very hard for an individual, an average Russian, to figure out what it is that is happening.
Russia's government even passed laws that make it a crime to protest and report on the war, making the punishment treason.
The system of fear that the government creates in society is also conducive to accepting this official narrative. That is why I had nothing but the utmost respect for those brave souls who came out into the streets of Moscow and St. Petersburg and other Russian cities to oppose and to condemn this war.
He says even as Russia has banned outside information and social media, it's only a matter of time before more of its people realize the truth.
So there is a resistance in Russian society, and I think the more they will learn about the war, once they realize the costs of the war, the opposition to this war will only increase in Russia. And Dr.
Mikaberidze was the guest speaker at the Shreveport Club tonight, where they held a fundraiser for Ukraine. He said it was sold out with more than 200 seats. Shreve Memorial Library is partnering with LSU Shreveport and Dr. Mikaberidze for a public discussion about Russia's invasion, titled The Ukrainian Gamble, Russia and the Future of Eastern Europe, to shed light on the deeper issues in the region, from a historic point of view to what's happening right now, and the wider implications of the conflict for Eastern Europe and America. The program begins at 6 p.m. on Monday, March 14th at the Broadmoor branch on Captain Shreve Drive. It is free and open to the public. And Russian influence does not stop at their own borders. Coming up at 9:30, we hear from an ex-KGB spy master about how they've been sowing discord since the Cold War by infiltrating and influencing American groups, ranging from the civil rights movement to far-right extremists, in an attempt to weaken the foundation of American democracy.